How's it going, guys? Just gonna tweet out real quick. Alright. Oh, that video description is wrong. Let's see. So tonight we're doing, we're gonna try out my first ever OLT. Oh, YouTube, you always do this to me. Okay, and are we in the right Twitch directory? I always have to double check that now because I never know. I never know if we are or not. That's been one downside to using Restream, is that it doesn't, when I send updates through Restream, Restream lets you update the stream title, description, the game you're playing, like basic parameters like that, but it doesn't always work properly, so I end up having to go in and then manually editing it in YouTube and in Twitch as well, and then even then sometimes Restream will overwrite it back to the old stream name. So I end up having to just manually edit a ton of stuff. But I guess that's the cost of trying to stream on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. And I'm sure there's ways around it. That people have figured out ways around it, but I have not yet. I haven't really spent the time to try to figure that out. So how are you guys doing? So I did spend a little bit of time off stream leveling up Iron Man to try to get a third character for Mega Hives in case we can't get matchmaking. Okay, so where is the OLT? Right here. Let's see, change hero. Let's look at gear real quick. Let's see, so 4-star, 5-star but low stats. Low stats. Are epics ever worth it? I don't feel like they are late game. Because the stats on legendaries are almost always better. And the perks aren't always 5 stars, but they're still usually pretty good. Two stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, 4 stars. Just get rid of all the epics. Okay. Resolve 45, Resolve 37. Valor. Which one's Valor again? Heroic effectiveness and crit damage. Resolve is max willpower and willpower recovery. I think we want this instead. See, I only have 116 polycore on. So I don't want to to be 14 under the cap though. This was my dilemma with doing OLTs now, is that I don't have. Let's do that once, and then we'll do another. Oh, that maxes at 135, huh? Well, let's boost everything up and at least get a couple more levels. $143. We'll try it with that. If the event wipes the floor with us, then we'll adjust. So have any of you guys started playing Marvel Future Revolution yet? I dabbled in it for like 20 minutes. I did the intro mission, and I did one mission with Fireman. The new Avenger Fireman. Iron Man. It seems interesting. From what I read about it, it's got this, and watch. From what I've watched and read about it, it seems like it has a lot of the typical gotcha stuff, but it is a very beefy game in terms of content for a mobile game. Oh, yeah, that guy left. I'm not surprised. I don't think people are going to be very fond of the idea of running these with a 143. Yeah. I think we might have some trouble doing that. So what I decided, the backup of it is, if this just doesn't work tonight, we'll try to run a Mega Hive and get some exotics that way. It would be nice to have a full exotic playbook. And then I would actually feel comfortable leveling everything up to 150. Or leveling everything up to 140 to get to 150, rather. I've heard this is super glitchy and stuff, so I don't know. People have had wildly different experiences. What is this guy saying? I have my mic turned off. Oh, he's just telling people to ready up. Okay. Well, we're gonna start anyway in like 3 seconds. It's Batman, Black Panther. like that the Black Panther skin, the one on the left there. That one's pretty cool. I'm not going to spend money on it, but it's cool. Alright, so I've never done one of these.
Welcome to our little remote hut. Dr. Pim's just up ahead.
All right, Hank, we're inside. Everything up and running?
Oh, you're in for a treat. See you in a bit.
I'm excited. Just fingers crossed we don't glitch out.
Hey guys, just passing through.
What? $157, huh? Whew. I'm so low. So do we have to... oh, there's two guys that need revives. I didn't even see that. Sorry, guys. I'm coming. Stand on both circles at the same time. Ouch. Can't believe I'm not dead already. This guy's trying to talk, but I can't hear what he's saying because I got headphones in. His audio comes through my controller, not through the capture card. Oh yeah, we got the time thing too. Okay. Gotta keep that in mind. There we go.
I expect they
Sweet.
won't be the last.
Up this way. Let's check out our
Aim squad.
skills real quick. Just fill out what we haven't filled out real fast. Ranged. Devastating dagger.
I am losing shelter beneath a god's protection now.
Well done. Keep going.
I need to remember to use my artifact, the damage boost. So I think the plan for tonight's stream is we got about 2 hours tonight, including some of the time we've already been on. So we're gonna try to at least give this OLT a shot. Hopefully there's nobody gets kicked or we don't have network issues or bugs or anything like that. I don't know if we'll actually beat the boss. I have a feeling we won't since two of us are under leveled, but I at least wanted to try. And then we'll do the discussion for tonight. The discussion topic for tonight is Is Christianity the only way? Which is part 2 of our objections to Christianity topic. So last stream, which was on... When did we stream last? Tuesday night? This last week's schedule has been crazy, abnormal. We did What Do We Do About Evil in the World? So we did that on Tuesday, and then we're going to do Is Christianity the Only Way tonight. I did not stream on Monday because I had a medical issue, and Wednesday
You'll have to break them out.
I didn't stream because I got back late from a dinner.
We will defeat them all. They do not stand a chance.
I think next week's schedule should be the normal Monday through Thursday, barring something unexpected, like some of the stuff I dealt with this week.
They split up the prisoners. Something about a security breach.
Let's get this cell open. Whatever Monica has planned for these prisoners, it can't be good. Jarvis, give me Theo.
Kate? Wait a minute. What frequency are you on? I thought you were talking to Pim on the other line.
Yeah, I'll explain later.
Wow.
Much later. And, don't tell Tim I called you. We just need to get these prisoners to safety.
Fine. But only because I owe you.
That was not bad. You have earned a favor from Orlando.
They have stopped me somehow.
Wait, it only takes us up to 50 seconds? I thought it was a minute.
There is no escaping from this.
Oh, come on. I'm getting one shot by those guys.
You have earned a favor from Orlando.
Wow, that guy's doing so much more damage than me. Everything has a shield. Alright, we need to get something done. So what's the deal with this? Okay. So I think we can...
Wakanda and the Avengers still need you. Give me aid.
So did we mess it up again? Oh wow. Yeah, this is gonna be pretty rough. See, I don't feel like I'm actually doing that damage. Do these guys just infinitely spawn until we finish the event? Oh, come on. Dude, one little stagger and it doesn't give you enough time to do the thing. I don't understand. I'm trying, man. This guy's getting really upset that we're not opening it up. I'm like, well, I mean... Alright, let's... Yeah, but then we have, like, no time at all to open the thing. The thing is, I know what we need to do, but it's just not... We have no time. Alright, I'm going to stand on this side and just wait for someone to shoot the ones on that side. Oh, it's up, it's up. There we go.
Tell me what this is about sometime.
Sure. All right, let's boogie. Where's the rest of the convoy?
How many times do we have to do that?
Lies up ahead.
3?
Follow the ridge and you'll reach it.
Now it might be a fair fight. I like face.
There they are. You'll need to destroy the locking mechanisms to open the cells.
Father, guide me! Help, cannot help me here.
I require assistance.
So we'll do the discussion topic in a little bit, and then we're going to talk about kind of the plan for the next couple of weeks as far as games, because I think we're going to... I don't know if this game has a lot more legs for me in its current state. I think I may come back when the next OLT comes out, or at least I'd like to beat this one once, and then... Okay. Gosh. Dude.
You are the king of Wakanda, Adit. Help me so I can end this.
Alright. I'm gonna stand on this side. I'm gonna stay here. Oh, we got 12 seconds. We gotta get time. Gotta get some time back.
You're up, Theo.
There we go. We need time, we need time, we need time. I'll go get time, you work on the thing. I'm talking to a brick wall, I know, but it helps. Whoa. Oh, is that what you have to do? Okay, I didn't even realize that's what you had to do to activate the thing. Alright, you guys gonna help me out here? Oh, what? What is this mechanic? Just shoot the thing.
This one's open.
There we go. My goodness. It is pretty hectic, which I like. Do we have someone on the other side? Nope. Okay, so you really pretty much you have to have someone on the other side right away. Alright. Is someone gonna do this?
The cell
There we
is
go.
open. Nice work. An elite AIM team is close by and on alert. Updating your HUD.
I don't have a good feeling about us getting through the boss
Open this cage and call it a day.
at this rate, but we'll see.
Do yourself. You know what? I'm just gonna take you out and do it anyway.
Where's our timer? Where did the timer go?
Sensors are picking up an AIM cache close by.
Are we not on timer anymore? Man, I wish there was some way to take down shields faster.
Father, guide me.
Is my ranged applying gamma? Whoa. Did we lose? Oh my gosh. How did we lose? The timer didn't show up. Looks like someone dropped off too.
An elite AIM team is close by and on alert. Updating your HUD.
Is he gonna leave too? Yeah, he's gonna leave. All right. Well, we'll try to matchmake again now that I have at least understand what to do for that cart event.
An elite AIM team is close by and on alert. Updating your HUD.
Yeah, let's
We are Terra itself.
This is all they have for that Black Panther.
we can't do this with just two people. And it didn't look like it auto-loaded any bots, so there's no point. I'm almost tempted to do an OLT instead. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go say goodnight to my wife. Okie dokes. So let's try to get match made for the OLT one more time. And maybe it might be a good idea to maybe start the discussion now. I think the pool of players playing this right now is really small. Matchmaking has always been really hard in this game. Pretty much ever since day one. And the people that are 150 don't want to play with people that are under 150. That one guy did give us a shot, but he was probably getting pretty annoyed. Alright, we got 3. One more. I know this is the best content, guys. It's just fantastic. Here, let's go ahead and start our discussion, since I think we could be a few minutes away from getting that fourth and actually getting going. So, if you were here at the beginning of the stream, I'll give a little bit of just a quick refresher on what we covered on Tuesday, since that was our only other stream this week. The topic that we're covering currently is, the broader topic is, I titled Tough Questions, and then within that it's Objections to Christianity. Within that, tonight we're covering the objection, is Christianity the only way? Or the objection, I guess the form of the objection would be Christianity is not the only way. So we're asking the question tonight, is Christianity the only way? So there's four arguments, or I guess responses to that concept that I want to give tonight. The last one we're not going to get into too much depth with. So the four responses are, the first response is, does God exist? And then we'll talk about the various subpoints under that. The second point is process of elimination and logical compatibility of the various world religions. Point number 3 is, who is Jesus to you? And point 4 is the evidence for the resurrection of Jesus. So, let's establish the objection first before we get into the responses, because we have to be fair to those that would argue this point. We give them the best version of the argument, and then we say, okay, we'll address the best version of your objection, and then essentially undermine all of its premises to the point where it's not a valid view to hold anymore. So the first, essentially the objection is, it's almost like, you could also think of it as someone that just, they want to go part way but not the whole way. They might believe in God, but then they say, oh well, Christianity isn't the only religion with a God. There's other religions with a God. So why should I accept Christianity when these other religions make similar claims about God? So what they do is they say, well, they put all of the religions on the same playing field, and then they say, okay, well then let's water them all down to their basic foundation, which is that God exists, and then say, I don't need to ascribe to any particular religion because I can just believe God exists, and my pathway to God is therefore complete because I believe in the one thing that I know has commonality between all the religions, and I don't have to get involved with all of the Bible and the Quran and all these different religious texts and so on and so forth. So I think that's kind of where some people come from. And there was a good article I read where the author kind of described this attitude well, and he starts off with a little story. It says, I spoke recently at a major Canadian university. This article was written, when was this written? I don't know, there's no date on this. I think this was in the last 5 or 6 years. So it says, he says, I spoke recently at a major Canadian university on the existence of God. After my talk, one slightly irate co-ed wrote on her comment card, quote, I was with you until you got to the stuff about Jesus. God is not the Christian God, unquote. Then he goes on to say, this attitude is all too typical today. Most people are happy to agree that God exists. And I would maybe amend that to say that a lot of people are, maybe not most implies a majority. I don't know if you were to poll Americans true beliefs, like the true beliefs of every person. Do a majority of Americans believe that God exists? I don't actually know the answer to that question. Probably. So maybe most is fair. I don't have any data to back that up, so we'll just leave that statement as is, without getting into the weeds there. So he says most... Oh, excuse me. Oh, well, let's ready up before I lose these guys. So most people are happy to agree that God exists, but in our pluralistic society, and if you're not familiar with the term pluralistic, it means belief that there are multiple pathways to God, that there can be multiple simultaneous spiritual truths, essentially. It has become politically incorrect to claim that God has revealed himself decisively in Jesus. What justification can Christians offer, in contrast to Hindus, Jews, and Muslims, 3 examples, for thinking that the Christian God is real? So now we're talking about the particularized God, the Christian God. And he says that the answer, the Christian answer of the New Testament, is the resurrection of Jesus. So that's kind of the linchpin around all of this. And so we're going to structure our argument around that idea. So the first question we have to talk about, the first point in response to this objection is, whether or not someone provided this objection, whether or not they actually believe God exists, we still need this first response, which is God exists. We have to establish that God exists. And there's 2 ways, generally speaking, you can do that. The first way is to find good evidence for a particular religion, or sorry, the other way. Establishing God's existence through arguments, natural theology, stuff like the Kalam cosmological argument, the moral argument, the ontological argument, which are all fascinating arguments if you guys want to read into those more. There's great philosophical works on those arguments. Establishing God's existence first, generally, and then you work to the specific, which is finding good evidence to believe in a particular religion. Weighing the various evidence of the particular religions and then finding the one that has the best explanation of reality. So the second approach, so the first approach is to start general and then get specific. The second approach is to start specific, right, and then infer the generality from the specific. So you have a strong spiritual encounter, or you believe you've come to find the evidence for example, the resurrection of Jesus convincing, and therefore you believe that Christianity is true, and because you believe Christianity is true, you therefore have to believe that God exists, because that is entailed by Christianity. So those would be your 2 pathways to establishing God's existence. And tonight we're not actually going to be going into the various arguments for God's existence. We can certainly do that if enough of you guys are interested in having that specific topic. I'm more than happy to do that. I really enjoy going over those arguments. There's some really, really fascinating lines of argumentation on that front. Some very robust arguments. So that's kind of the first part. But then once you've established that God exists, then the question becomes, okay, well, the concept of God without any particular information about him is sort of just nebulous, right? It's vague. It lacks any detail. It lacks any personality or something that I can connect with or relate with. And so people will say, like, oh, I believe in God, I just don't want to get hung up with Christianity, or I don't want to get hung up with Islam, or I don't want to tie myself to Judaism or something like that. And the response then would be, well, what are you tying yourself to then? If you believe God exists, who is this God? that you say exists? What is he like? What are his characteristics? And any major world religion would be able to answer that question. And so, of course, I believe that Christianity has the best explanation for that, or best answer to that question, but but just believing in the concept of oh, did we lose again? Oh no, it looks like someone left. All right, this is. I think we're gonna back out and just go for a mega hive. So if someone believes that, that's a question I would ask them. Is what if you say you believe in God, you go part way but not the whole way? Then if you go part way, what do you actually believe? What is it that you actually believe? Okay, so we've got Mega Hive. Okay, so that's point number 1. God exists. Point number 2, in response to the question, is Christianity the only way, is the process of elimination response. And that is to take you've established God exists, and then you want to look beyond and say, okay, are any of the particularized forms of God, aka world religions, do they have a convincing case, a convincing body of evidence for their belief system, for their worldview, for their claims about God? And then you can analyze the different world religions and, by process of elimination, determine which ones are true, which one is true, and which ones are not. Now, theoretically, it would be possible for them all to not be true. But one thing you can't do is say that they're all true. So if you look at all of the monotheistic religions, for example, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, those are the 3 biggest ones. Those 3 are all mutually exclusive of each other. They can't all be true at the same time. Only one of those 3, if true, could be true. And if Christianity is true, then Hinduism can't be true. If Christianity is true, Buddhism can't be true. So you have this logical incompatibility because of the claims that those religions make about God. So they could all be wrong, in theory, in which case your process of elimination just gave you nothing. You either don't know what the correct, who God actually is, or you say you can't know, right? Which would be the agnostic position, is that I just can't, I might believe that he exists, but I can't know what he's like, so therefore I don't ascribe to any particular religion. So, so what you do then, so in the case of like myself, for example, the process of elimination, that's not how I became a believer, by the way. This is not the process by which I became a believer. But there are some people for whom this is the process they became a believer. They assessed the evidence of these various different worldviews, and then they discovered that one had a particularly strong case, evidence that was robust, claims that could be backed up by historical reality, historical, philosophical, theological evidence, and so they believe because of that. So that process of elimination, really the key there is to understand the logical incompatibility. The one thing you cannot do logically, if you want to be rational, the one thing you cannot do is say that they're all true. You may be able to say that none of them are true, and plenty of people have said that. Lots of agnostics and atheists have said that. But you can't say that they're all true. That's the one thing that is not rational to do. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people in America and around the world that take that view, and it's just simply not. It doesn't hold up when you assess it logically. It doesn't take much research or thinking at all to figure out that if you believe that that Jesus Christ rose from the dead and that there's a triune God and that salvation comes by by grace through faith, you can't also believe in the Allah of Islam. They're not. You just can't do that. So that minimalist approach is it's simply an irrational approach. It doesn't work, and at the end of the day, it's just sort of intellectually irresponsible and lazy to do that. So that's your point number 2, the process of elimination and logical compatibility, or logical incompatibility, I guess you could say. So the third question then is, now that we've, in theory, now we're at the stage where someone establishes God's existence, then step 2 is they say, okay, I think that the evidence for Christianity is compelling, but I'm not fully convinced yet. Then the real question, the main question that they need to answer is, who is Jesus to them? Who is Jesus to you? Who is Jesus to me? And I don't mean that in a nebulous spiritual sense. I mean that in a, what do you believe about the person of Jesus Christ? Who was he? What did he do? What was his identity? What is his identity? And I think that question will allow you to determine whether Christianity is true or not based on the evidence for Jesus. And I'll help a little bit in that we're not going to go into depth on this tonight, but I'll help a little bit in that the evidence for Jesus as a person, that he existed approximately 2,000 years ago in ancient Israel, is very strong, irrefutable. And even atheist and agnostic and non-Christian religious scholars all accept that. The tiny handful of scholars that don't accept that are considered on the fringe. That's just not it's not a credible viewpoint anymore. After a variety of scholarly research has been done, it's just not a credible viewpoint. So then the question is, so he existed, but who was he? Was he a teacher? Was he just a crazy guy that made crazy claims? Or was he God? And so then you look at the evidence, the historical evidence from the Bible, from various other non-Christian texts, and you find, as I have found, that yes, he died on a cross, he was buried in a tomb, he rose again on the third day, and his disciples had a sudden transformation in their belief about him and his resurrection. So those are the 4 kind of main prongs of the evidence for the resurrection, and there's a lot of detail that goes into that, and a variety of different sub-arguments and historical information that you would need in order to flesh that out. But that's the basic outline of the argument. So if you say, who is Jesus to you? Jesus was the Son of God who died for our sins and rose again to prove that the claims that he made about himself were true and to defeat death, then you can say, okay, the core tenet of Christianity is true. and then at that point you say, okay, well, if I know that that's true, can I then back away? Can I then do a 180 and say, well, Jesus and who he was and what he did is true, but then also all these other religions, for example, like Hinduism, are true? And you can't do that. You just can't. You can't. That's the one thing, like I said, you can't do that, because you can't rationally do that, because the truth claims that Christianity makes are just incompatible logically with any other religion, whether it be a major one or not. So that was point 3, but then I realized I kind of mixed in point 4, which was evidence for the resurrection of Jesus. So we already kind of talked about that, but I'll go over that again one more quick time, which is the core historical arguments for his resurrection are his death on the cross. So once you establish that he died on the cross, you can't then argue that he faked his death. That's which is called the swoon theory, that he faked his death, or that he never actually died and just ascended into heaven. So it rules out that possibility. Then the second argument is the empty tomb. So that proves that he did not stay dead. And then there are arguments like, oh, well, the disciples stole the body to try to trick people into believing that he was alive, or someone else stole the body, and there's no good evidence to back that up, and that argument has been solidly refuted historically by credible scholarship. So then the third argument is the post-mortem appearances, and by that I mean after he rose from the dead, he appeared to his disciples, to a group of 500, to the woman at the tomb. So there's historically recorded times when he appeared, his resurrected body appeared to multiple different groups of people, and that reality, that truth, which you can establish by, again, the historical record, helps to refute the concept that, oh, well, people just hallucinated that he came back from the dead. The concept of mass hallucination has been undermined, and the fact that it occurred to multiple different groups of people also helps undermine that idea. So then the final piece that really puts the cherry on top is the sudden transformation in Jesus' disciples, which were the 12 that were part of his ministry in his short 2-year ministry on earth. His disciples had a sudden change in their belief about the resurrection. It's historically recorded that the disciples were dismayed, they were devastated, they thought that the man that they followed was dead, and that it was just over. It was over. And they didn't know what to do. They were in a state of mourning. And then all of a sudden, they not only changed what they believed, but then they were willing to die for what they believed. And they all ended up dying for what they believed. So those 4 things are basically the core historical, that makes up your case for the resurrection. And what's the reason that I bring that up in that form is because not everybody's willing to accept that the Bible is true, right? It's a big book, and some people say, well, I can't just on a whim listen to some streamer guy at night and say, oh, well, the Bible's true. Sure, that's fine. I'm not asking you to believe at this moment. I'm not asking you to believe that the Bible is true. I'm asking you to assess the historical evidence for a particular claim and follow that evidence where it leads. That's what I'm asking you to do. And if you do that, I believe you'll arrive at the conclusion that Jesus resurrected from the dead. And if that's true, that truth carries with it a ton of weight. right? A ton of weight. The whole core foundation of Christianity is based on that fact. And there's even several verses in the Bible where the Apostle Paul, for example, in at least one of his epistles says, if Jesus didn't rise from the dead, then this whole thing is just a sham. It's all fake. You don't have to believe any of it. There's no hope. But if he did, then this is all true, and we have to obey God and his commands, and we do accept that Jesus is the paid the penalty for our sin, and that God loved us so much that he would do that for us through his grace. That's the dichotomy that's so powerful in all of this. So Christians recognize, look, if you can just prove the resurrection, we got nothing, is basically what that's saying. But yet there is so much good reason to believe it from just objectively looking at the historical record that I have every confidence that it's true. I have no doubt in my mind that it's true. So I guess I would say that concludes our official discussion for tonight. And if you have any questions on that in particular, just leave them in the chat or in the comments on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, I use Restream, which is a dual streaming software which allows me to stream on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. So someone may say something in Twitch, like ask a question, for example, and then I'll repeat it so that the people on YouTube can hear, and vice versa. And then if someone leaves a comment in YouTube after the fact, obviously if you were on Twitch, you wouldn't be able to see that unless you come check out the Neuralizer channel on YouTube, which I encourage you guys to do, because I do. The YouTube channel is going to take these discussion segments from our gameplay and break them out so that you can either choose to watch the full Let's Play video for that night stream, or you can watch just the breakout of the discussion, which is typically anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes, depending on the topic. And that way, if you're really just interested in the discussion and not so much interested in the gameplay, then you can just listen to that, and that suits your needs. So I want to meet the needs of both the people that are more interested in the games and the people that are more interested in the discussion topics, because I know both types are out there.
Every member of the elite team must be defeated.
So this is such a breeze compared to doing the OLT.
One of their agents is down.
Like, I was able to concentrate on our discussion, and I wasn't even thinking about the gameplay. Just became kind of second nature.
Another agent down. Well done. That SWAT member has been neutralized. Another enemy defeated.
This is it!
The team are no longer a threat.
So I promised we'd also talk about the streaming plan as well, the stream schedule. So the schedule for next week, I think, is going to be the normal Monday through Thursday. I'm trying to get online at 9:30, but sometimes that doesn't work out. But as far as what we're going to be playing, I think this may be our last Avengers stream for a little while. For a couple reasons. Number one, I've just kind of run out of stuff to do. Like there is, grinding for exotics. There is hitting 150 for my Captain America, for my Black Panther. I could level up other characters. So there is stuff I could do. But what really gets me going with these games is when there's fun end game content to do, and I just don't really find the OLT or the Mega Hives to be very compelling end game content. And so I just don't think there's much longevity to this game for me outside of just kind of dabbling in that content a little bit, and then coming back when there's something more substantive like the AIM cloning labs or when the other OLT comes out. Because I did really like the bosses from the Wakanda expansion, and apparently one of those, I think its Claw is going to be an actual OLT, so that actually should be fun. But I just, I had fun with the expansion, got leveled up Black Panther, but I'm not really interested in trying to play much more than that, because I don't feel like I'm playing for anything. I don't feel like I have anything to aspire to. Oh, yikes. Okay. Shoot. I forgot about dying. I should have been more careful. I do have the Jarvis barrier on my cap, though. I don't have that on my Black Panther yet. So, what I was saying is that I think we'll obviously we'll finish out tonight's stream with Avengers, and then I think I was playing Godfall before this, and I was really enjoying that. So I think I'll probably play that. We'll probably play that for a little while next week. I was also thinking about diving into the new Destiny season. I have not streamed Destiny yet. And the new season actually looks pretty compelling. I haven't played since about a month after Beyond Light came out, which was the most recent major expansion. So I am thinking about dipping into that for a while, and just kind of checking it out. I'll probably play that on stream and off stream, just like I've been doing for Avengers and for Godfall. Like if I play over the weekend or whatever. My promise to you is that if we're playing a single player game, like a true let's play type game, I'm only going to play that on stream so that you guys don't miss anything. But with these live service games, the co-op games that are kind of, the infinitely replayable type games, I'm not going to promise that, because I want to have something to do off stream, and sometimes these games, if there's a lot of grinding or whatever, it makes sense for me to do that, some of that on my own time. So, looks like there's a guy stuck in the floor, which is fantastic. Oh, there he is. Or maybe. I still don't know if we can reach him or not.
The enemies have been
Oh,
defeated.
there we go. Nice. Okay, so we didn't have to reset. That's good. So if Destiny hooks me, then I would imagine we'll probably play that for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then maybe alternate somewhat with either Godfall or like a single player game, because there's a bunch of those in the backlog as well.
You're not finished yet.
Okay, so we got to go to the next one. Can I swap heroes again, or? Oh no, I can't. It doesn't let me do that. Okay. I thought maybe it would reset between gauntlets, but it doesn't. Definitely want 4 people. So, kind of the falling off and losing interest in the game is one reason we're going to be moving off of Avengers for a bit. But another reason too is just that this channel hasn't really been seeing any growth playing Avengers. I had a little bit more success with Godfall, and I might get drowned out in the Destiny directory too, which is fine. Like that, I would expect that probably, since it is one of the bigger directories, at least amongst looter type games, the live service games. It is one of the bigger ones. So we'll just have to see. I don't know until I try. I don't know until I try.
Be careful out there. We're all
Okay, we
counting
got
on
4.
you.
That's good.
Head for the location on your HUD.
Stay sharp.
These enemies must be defeated.
So now the question is, now I'm wondering if I die as Black Panther, but if I was to complete it with Captain America, would the exotics that drop be for Black Panther or Captain America? I mean, both of them need exotics, but I really wanted to get it for Black Panther, so I guess we'll just see, but it would be nice if you could at least, like, choose or something, but I know that's not a feature.
There they are. Don't do something you'll regret.
The enemies have been defeated.
Nice, that was easy. Nice.
seems great.
What's it like?
Yeah. Is it disorienting, terrifying, peaceful?
All of the above, honestly.
AIM has a set of turbines powering one of their emergency generators. Disable them. You need to access the terminal to reach the turbine.
Oh, wow.
Destroy the turbine.
What? Oh.
AIM has sent forces to stop you.
See ya!
That turbine is finished. Well done. You disabled a turbine. Excellent. Turbine destroyed.
That ability is so ridiculously fun. Ow. I gotta be careful.
This old dog still got a few tricks.
The generator is no longer functional. If you can gain control of AIM's network temporarily, I can infiltrate their security system. AIM will attempt to initiate a shutdown protocol if they gain access to the terminal. You cannot let them. I am inside AIM's security system. That helps, thank you.
The core combat loop of this game is so fun. It's just I wish there were more reasons to play beyond just fun, you know? Like it fun is only fun for so long. If you know what I mean. There's games like Left 4 Dead, which for me have longevity because they're just fun. There's no progression system in that game at all. It's just you play it to have fun, and the reason it has longevity is because of the competitive nature of it, like playing versus playing scavenge, right? Like the fact that every map feels different. You play different people, different situations pop up. There's so many different crazy scenarios that can happen. The skill ceiling's really high. But the game doesn't need progression like, Back for Blood has to have longevity. I have over 1,000 hours in that franchise. But like this game, the combat's fun, but then like the loot has issues. There's no end game. There's nothing to. There's no like if you want to talk about a skill ceiling. There's nothing once you have, basic kind of your basic character is leveled up. You're at 150. Like there's nothing to do after that. You don't really. Sure, you could get better a little bit by like tweaking your build. There's a little bit of build crafting, but there's nothing to aspire to, right? Like in Left 4 Dead, you can aspire to just being better, to winning more, right? To playing with friends and having that co-op experience. So,
Head for the location on your HUD.
all in all, it's fun, but
These enemies must be
the fun by itself won't keep you in the game, or won't keep most people in the game for very long. Which is a shame, right? Like I said, like if they just had better systems in the game that gave you reasons to stick around, then it would be all the more fun, and the fun could maybe take over a little bit more. But they haven't done that yet. I don't know if they ever will. I don't think Wakanda was very successful, and because it was free, it obviously didn't bring in money for the studio, so we'll see what year 2 is going to look like. They've promised a bunch of content, but who knows how much of that is actually going to come to fruition. I think they're stuck in their deal with Sony to get Spider-Man in the game, but beyond that, that may be the only firm thing they've promised that they really have to get out. Everything else that they've promised is still tentative.
The enemies have been defeated.
See, what is the directory like for this game right now on Twitch?
Not as crowded as it used
So we go to Twitch, not twitch.tv/neuralizer, to Twitch.
An elite AIM team is close by and on alert. Updating your HUD.
And search for Marvel's Avengers. I don't want to lag out the CPU, but I just wanted to see. Oh, wow. There's only 250 viewers right now. Now, it is 11:30 on the Pacific Coast, 2:30 on the East Coast. I have no clue. I mean, there might be some people watching from around the world too, but like, or there are for sure. I don't mean I don't mean to make it sound like only people in America watch Twitch. That's totally not true. But 250, that's really low. And the top 4 streamers are carrying
Every member of the
half
elite
that.
team must be defeated.
Godfall. I better concentrate. I don't want to lose this.
One of their agents is down. Excellent. Another agent down. Well done. That squad member has been neutralized. Another enemy defeated.
Godfall has 30 viewers in its directory, and the highest streamer is 5 right now. That's amazing. That game dropped off right away after its expansion came out a couple weeks ago. It was up in like, I want to say it was up around 5,000 that day. And then the next day it dipped down to like 250. During the day it is a little more. What's Warframe right now? Warframe, again, this isn't a perfect... There's flaws with using this to try to assess popularity. I'm just looking at Twitch to compare Twitch. Warframe has 840 people, 840 viewers right now. What does Destiny have? Destiny 2. I'm actually curious, what does Destiny 1? Destiny 1 has 12 viewers. Ha! The Destiny 1 faithfuls. Destiny 2 right now has 9.1k. So that's, I mean... I think they usually have anywhere from like around 75,000 concurrent players or something like that, across all platforms. And then they'll have, there's, I can't remember, I think it's like 75,000 concurrents, but then there's obviously, there's also, oh, I gotta get out of here. What's it called? Unique logins in a day, and that's up around several 100,000, I think. So I don't know what those statistics are for these games. So Twitch doesn't always tell you. It doesn't necessarily tell you anything. Although if the numbers are really low, that does imply that there's probably not that many people playing it. If it's a multiplayer type game. Some games just aren't very watchable. Like, I don't enjoy watching people play Destiny. The only aspect of Destiny that can be kind of interesting is raid races and like competitive PvP can be, but I'm not one that really watches competitive PvP. But just grinding out levels or whatever is not fun, and that's not fun. That's not fun to watch for me for any game. Just not good content. Not good streaming content. Alright, so we finished the second gauntlet. What was the other game? Oh, let's look at Diablo 3. Diablo 3 has 1.1k. Wow. That's better than Warframe.
Excellent work. You've dealt another blow to Abe. You're not finished yet.
Is Diablo 2 Resurrected actually out? It's 40 viewers. Rerun beta. Okay, yeah, no, it's not. It's just people rerunning beta and stuff. What else is what else would be interesting to look at? What other big... I guess we could just kind of go to the main Twitch directory and see like what... Oops. Nope, I don't want to go there. Games. So, that new Aliens Fireteam Elite has 2.6k. Psychonauts has 2.8k. see. Well, I want just the normal browse. Here we go. Path of Exile has 7K. Hades has 3K.
Be careful out there. We're all counting on you.
12 minutes has been solid since it came out. That's at 2.7K. Marvel Future Revolution has more people than Marvel's Avengers. Marvel Future Revolution has 482, and Marvel's Avengers has 235.
An elite AIM team is
All right, let's
close by
pay
and on
attention to
alert.
this here.
Updating your HUD.
I mean, Marvel Future Revolution did just come out, and there's going to be a lot more people playing that. The number of people watching that's going to be pretty skewed because people just don't stream mobile games as much, and people don't watch mobile games as much either. So how many floors is the third gauntlet?
Every member of the elite team must be defeated.
Here's an energy boost.
One of their agents is down.
This is gonna hurt.
Excellent. Another agent down. Well done. That squad member has been neutralized. Another enemy defeated. The team are no longer a threat.
That was fast.
Head for the location on your HUD. These enemies must be defeated.
You know, I kind of wonder if this game had waited until the new gen systems had come out, how much better it would have done. Because I have to believe that that launching this game on the PS4 or Xbox One gen, with how just poor the performance was, all the bugs, that, like, you know, the really low frame rates, the horrendous load times, if they had waited until the new hardware came out, if more people would have bought it, and more people would have stuck around too, because I think the poor performance really turned a lot of people off. I mean, there were really, I guess, three main things that I think turned people off. Number one was the performance, the low frame rate, the bugs, all that. That was a major reason that people dipped out. Then the second reason was that people really liked the campaign, but then when they got to the loot part of it, there were just a lot of people that weren't interested in that kind of gameplay loop. They wanted just the single player experience, and so they played the campaign and then quit. So that wouldn't have hurt sales, but it would have hurt retention. So I'm just talking about things that would have hurt retention. Performance hurts retention. Not having a compelling gameplay loop hurts retention. And then for the people that wanted the looter, but were disappointed by the lack of endgame content, that would have been yet another reason for people to drop off. So there were three kind of killer things that really all but killed this game after, within the first week or two after launch. And I think that, launching on the next gen systems would have done two things. It would have allowed them to, launch on a platform that had good performance, which would have helped problem number one. But then it would have also, it meant that they would have had another year to develop, or no, sorry, not another year, but it would have another few months to develop the content. And maybe they could have added the OLT, maybe they could have added, Clint or Kate or both possibly, had more content in the game, more missions, more things to do, that would have kept some of the people that were itching for that, kind of that endgame aspiration type stuff around. Now, that's none of the things that I just said were endgame, but at least they were more interesting things to do while we waited for endgame.
AIM has a set of turbines powering.
But I'm guessing they just decided, look, financially we can't wait any longer. I think this game was in development for 6 years or something like that. It had a long cycle. They were probably in the red with this game for a while and needed to get it out the door to ship units and make some of that money back.
Destroy the turbines.
Okay, so this is 5 floors, so we're on floor number 2. Let's see, can we do this in 15 minutes?
AIM has sent forces to stop you.
Maybe, maybe not.
That turbine is finished. Well done. You disabled the turbine. Excellent. Turbine destroyed.
What?
Heads up!
The generator is no longer functional.
So I think we get 2 exotics, right, after we beat this? I think. mean, it's so long, we should. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't give you 2. And if it wasn't always 2, it always should have been 2.
Are you ever gonna ditch that apartment?
Where else am I gonna live?
We have a helicarrier.
Are you trying to remind me papers over to my room?
Oh, sorry. Forgot.
Head for the location on your HUD.
This should be fun.
Oh, there's another guy on the floor. Get him before he goes back in the floor. Was it 2 more floors? We can do this.
Hey, now. Thanks
For what?
for not giving up.
I'm not made that way. Neither are you. Wanna go somewhere? Get some peace and quiet?
Love to. Chimera's getting crowded again.
Right? You'd think Bruce would at least be quiet when he reads, but he does the leg jiggle thing. It drives me crazy.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who's noticed.
An elite AIM team is close by and on alert. Updating your HUD. Look for a chest with gear nearby. There is a chest with gear close by. Every member of the elite team must be defeated.
Okay, just spawned right there. Get all those shields off.
One of their agents is down. Another agent down. Another enemy defeated. Team are no longer at home.
That was fast. One more floor. Here we go.
where you grew up and your favorite dessert.
Red Room Pavlova?
Never. We'll brainstorm a new alias later.
Let's get this thing started.
Check for the location on your HUD.
You gotta be kidding me.
This is the last floor, right? It's just the three
These enemies must
the
be
three gauntlets. Ouch, ouch. Oh, I gotta get health. I'm gonna be very careful here.
Let's shake this up!
Okay, one down.
Into the shadows.
The enemies have been defeated.
Yay! So is that it? Please tell me that was it. 16 floors. It's like eating pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving night. Oh, I can't take a 17th
You're
floor.
not finished yet.
What's this? Is this an exotic? No, that's a legendary. So what? What's? Don't tell me there's another. Don't tell me. Oh my goodness. Okay. Alright. Well, I'm not stopping now. We've invested too much, so let's see if we can get through this quick. It's 11:52, so we'll just try to blast through this. Hopefully we can get a fourth quickly.
Be careful out there. We're all counting on you. An elite AIM team is close by and on alert. Updating your HUD.
Easy picking.
Oh, I need to set a reminder on my phone real fast.
Hey, no shoving. I'll get to everyone.
Okay. Alright. Sorry about that. And all these unnecessary rooms, we just gotta rip through those as fast as possible. So it's, what, 21 rooms? Is it 5 more floors? That's just too long, man. Especially, is it only 2 exotics for this amount of time? That's crazy. I mean, we've been doing this for over an hour. And it's just the same thing over and over and over and over again. Defeat all the enemies. Defeat all the enemies. Defeat all the enemies. Defeat all the enemies. And oh! Defeat all the enemies.
Well done. That squad member has been neutralized. Another enemy defeated. The team are no longer a threat.
Have you had a heart-to-heart with,
1 down, 4 to go.
Sorry, Matt.
Or
He'll come around.
I know you're trying to be the big man about this, but I kind of wish you'd be a jerk.
17 down, 4 to go, rather.
Finally sweet.
There we go.
Let's not lose track of our time investment here.
AIM has a server bank nearby.
We got company.
Skip this.
There they are. Neutralize them. AIM will throw everything at you to keep their servers intact. Destroy them all. That server has been destroyed.
Why does it still say floor 1 of 5?
Give any more thought to what I said.
Yeah, I still hate it. You're the leader.
These have all been separate floors. This should be... What we're about to do should be floor 3 of 5, not floor 2 of 5.
Make sure it's later, then.
We've been going down an elevator every time.
We're not alone here.
Head for the location on your HUD.
Just like always, Avengers. Sometimes I can impress myself.
These enemies must be defeated.
The AI is getting glitchier and glitchier.
The enemies have been defeated.
Okay, so we're going to floor 3 of 5, right?
Nice work out there, Cap.
Like it should have been 4 or 5, but whatever.
Learned that in a leadership training course? Compliment on compliment? Hey, whatever. I still like it.
An elite AIM team is close by and on alert. Updating your HUD. Every member of the elite team must be defeated.
Something in your eye?
One of their agents is down. Excellent. Another agent down. Well done.
Sorry guys, I normally go to bed at midnight. It's 5 minutes past midnight. We're still not even done with this. It was my fault for thinking it was only 3 gauntlets though. It's 4.
Head for the
We
location
are
on
almost
your
done.
HUD. One of our resistance allies is close by and could use some help. Look for a chest with gear nearby.
Yeah, see, now it's saying 445. I feel like that glitched out. That can't be right. Because we went down 2 elevators and it still said floor 1.
These enemies
So,
must be defeated.
whatever. Thanks, I'm low. I'm low.
The enemies have been defeated.
Enemy sighted. Couple ex-shield agents.
Next one's the last one, right?
I know you're talking villain record, but I'm pretty sure you also did the fastest mile by a lot.
I was talking about the mile.
An elite AIM team is close by and on alert. Updating your HUD. team are no longer a threat.
There we go. That should be it.
We're not alone here.
Okay, so I got 2 exotics. Got something at
Excellent
least.
work. You've dealt another blow to AIM. You're not finished yet.
Not the greatest stats. Okay. Alright. Alright, so that's going to wrap it up for tonight, guys. Thanks for sticking around as we finish the Mega Hive. So, tonight's Thursday, so we're going to be off tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. I'll be off. We'll be back on Monday next week. We're going to set Avengers down for a bit, and then we're either going to start up with the new Destiny season on Monday or Godfall. Get back to Godfall. So thanks so much for coming out tonight, guys. Every one of you that comes out, I appreciate every one of you that participates in the discussion. I appreciate. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to just share my thoughts and share my heart on our discussion topic tonight. And as always, we're going to be doing discussion topics every single night as part of the stream. In addition to just playing some chill games, we're always going to be discussing something. So bring your critical thinking hats every time you come, and looking forward to having more discussion with you guys next week. So hope everybody has a awesome weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday. God bless.